Alright, welcome to another video tutorial of the BlueSeer software application. BlueSeer is a free and open source ERP and EDI solutions package. It is available for both the Windows desktop and the Linux desktop in either a standalone application or in a multi-user sort of environment as an application. What we're going to look at today is creating a FTP client. BlueSeer has an embedded FTP client capabilities for both FTP protocol and the secure FTP protocol. So what we're going to do is demonstrate creation of an FTP client and an execution of that FTP client to a test FTP server. Okay, so you can get to the FTP menu by typing in FTP here at the navigational text box in the main menu, or you can go to EDI communications menu and FTP. So we're going to do it from right from here. So we're going to type in FTP and press enter. Okay, we're going to create a FTP client instance. This instance is to a FTP server who happens to be available on the web for anybody to use. It's called DLP Test, and as of today, this site is actually working and it's available. And you can drop files on there. Don't expect those files to stay there long. It deletes the files pretty much as soon as you drop them on there. And hopefully the site will be around for a long time because it's very useful. Anyway, we're going to create a test client instance to this server, ftpdlptest.com. So we're going to call it a DLP. First, we're going to click New. Then we're going to put in the code. DLP is the FTP client ID we're going to use. Description test is enabled. And it was ftp.dlptest.com. If I remember correctly, dlptest.com. Yes. The user is DLP user. We're just going to cut and paste that. Apparently, I didn't do that correctly. Let's try it again. Oh. Control C. And the password, I'm not typing this in by no means. This monstrosity of a password. Control C, Control V into the password section. Okay, so that's the user, the password, and the URL IP address. The end directory is used for if I do when I make the client connection to the server and I do a get files or whatever. The end directory is where it's going to store those files on your local client. The out directory is for the put action. So if I'm putting files, it's going to pull from this out directory that you define here. And I'm going to define EDI/out, which is inherent within the BlueSeer package that you just installed. EDI out, and for right now we're going to do a command of just dir. You can put several commands in here as long as they're on one line. Legitimate FTP client connection commands. dir, get, star. There's a whole slew of everything. You can do put, help, any kind of command that's recognized by the server. But right now we're just going to use a dir. We're going to choose passive, we're going to choose binary, and then we're going to create the record. So now let's pull that record back up. And we're actually going to test this connection. So what it should do is connect to the server. It should do a dir command, and it should close the session. So we're going to click run, and it did. Server 200 switching to binary modes. So it shows switching to binary mode. It shows it in passive from the client side, and then these are the files that are actually there. And then it disconnects the session. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a file. I've got a file in the EDI out directory called test.txt. And there is no file called test.txt inside the directory now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a put test star. There's only one file there, but we're going to put test.txt. We could do test.txt, or we can do that. And then we're going to do a directory listing again to show that it actually put the file onto the server. So we're going to do update, and then we're going to run this. So click run, So you'll notice here, these are the original files that are on there now. It shows that it's storing the file test.txt. Then it does another directory listing, and you can see the file there called test.txt. And then it disconnects this client session. So that's an example or a demonstration of creating the FTP client with the BlueSeer application and actually executing that instance. So there are plenty of other applications out there that do FTP client. Now, some of them are specifically to FTP client, like FileZilla or WinSCP. Both of those applications are very high profile and used a lot for any type of FTP client, and they're free. They're available for free. One of the things I would say about the BlueSeer client session, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that those two packages has, but it does have two extra functionalities that make it a more complete package. It has a workflow option where you can create other actions other than actually just connecting to the client, to the server, and pulling the file down. You can do a workflow that has another step to it, that it copies files from one directory to another, or it does an archive, or whatever action you need to do in conjunction with connecting and grabbing your file. The other thing that BlueSeer has is a cron scheduler. So if you want this job to run every 5 minutes, this client connection to go put this file here or get this file, you can create a cron schedule record that will do this for you automatically every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, every day, whatever timing frequency that you have. So BlueSeer offers both a workflow functionality and a cron scheduling functionality in addition to the FTP embedded client, which I don't think a lot of the other packages have. Again, this application is completely free. You're free to download it, free to distribute it as necessary. Feel free to take a look at the client functionality here. You can actually run through this exact same test as long as this URL stays alive. And feel free to take a look at it, navigate it, explore it, research it. And the documentation is on the website as well. So if you have any questions, reach out to support@blueseer.com. Or you can go to the website at BlueSeer.com, and there's some contact information there. You can also click on the Help, About, and there's more contact information there as well. So, feel free to use it. Otherwise, thank you. How do I turn this? There we go.